Hey Baddie, welcome back to the Baddest You podcast, where every listen takes you to the baddest version of yourself. I am your Baddie mindset coach, Ambria, and in today's episode, we're talking about how to protect your energy from energy vampires, setting boundaries, having mental boundaries, and all of the above. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria. Follow the Baddest You on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, and let's get into this week's episode. So protecting your energy is the key to life, okay? Especially when you're a person that can be empathetic, an empath, if I may, a person that has high feelings, is very sensitive. It's very important to make sure that you have the ability to protect yourself when it comes to people, circumstances, and situations, okay? Because life is unexpected. Life is something that can completely come at us all the time, but if you do not have the ability to protect yourself and your energy, you will find yourself struggling or suffering a lot. One of the most important things when it comes to protecting your energy is understanding your energy is sacred. You are so valuable, and that your energy is the true currency of life, okay? Think of it as like you have an energy bar, if I may, and when you go through experiences in life, things can take your energy or things can add to your energy. And the reason why we have to protect this energy is because this energy can help influence us manifesting our vision board, help influence us becoming a better version of ourselves, or we can find ourselves leaking and letting people take our energy and making us feel stagnant, stuck, or less than. And this only holds us back from our truest potential. And so you have to understand the idea of energy vampires, right? Energy vampires come to steal your energy. These are in the form of friends, relationships, partnerships, parents, jobs, environments, all of the above, things that are coming to try to take and steal your energy, your good energy, right? And there's a reason why people do this, because if you're on my podcast especially, your energy is sacred, okay? It is high vibrational, and your energy alone can make people more attractive, can make people around you have more money if you play your cards right. And so like I said, energy vampires, they will come to try to steal your energy, and it's up to you to make sure that you protect yourself. It's important to recognize, baddies, that the only power that an energy vampire has is the illusion that you are not in power. When we grow up in life and we have experiences, a lot of times we can learn mechanisms to protect ourselves, like people pleasing or self-abandoning ourselves or dimming our light. But these are things that take away from us and add to the people around us, right? Your needs matter. You matter. Your experience matters. You are extremely important and very valuable. And when we allow people to just take from us, it can make us feel less than. We act like we're not valuable for the sake of keeping ourselves safe in the world around us, but you are most safe in your power. Okay, energy vampires, like a vampire, can only come in with your permission. And so the first step is understanding who you are, your true value, the fact that you have the full power to create whatever it is that you want, and you have the power to protect yourself. So let's say somebody comes to you and says a negative comment and you react. Okay, that's what energy vampires love, reacting. They need that reaction. It makes them feel good. It boosts their ego. This person who's so powerful, I have control over their feelings in this moment, right? Sometimes energy vampires, it's subconscious. They subconsciously try to take your energy, all right? They want to see you sweat. They want to see you frown. It makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel good about themselves, right? Because people who don't have any real power, the only power they have is trying to take power from other people. That's the only way they'll have energy, the only way they'll have power, because they either are too lazy or do not have the ability to cultivate their own high vibrational energy, to cultivate their own power, or they just don't recognize who they are. I always say hurt people, but people who love themselves add to people, want to uplift the collective, want to uplift people like you and me. So it's important to recognize that energy vampires, they have no real power. They're hurt people, and they only have access to you if you allow them to. They can only hurt your feelings. They can only touch your energy if you give them permission to. So understand this, baddies, you come first. Like I said, when you were younger, you found it easier to put everybody else ahead of you. You found it easier to give up your power. You found it easier to people please and to put your needs last and to dim your light, to keep yourself safe in the world around you. But in this new day and age, in this new era, if I may, you come first. You are the one to impress. You are the prize. You are the co-creator of your life. You understand that you are important and can't just allow anybody to treat you any type of way. Okay? Your people-pleasing days are completely over. You matter most. Are you happy with this person? It doesn't matter if they like you. Do you like them? Are you satisfied with this job? It doesn't matter if you feel like, oh, I need this. Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? It's important to start valuing yourself, to really start seeing yourself and your word and your experience as important. And you have the ability to control that. So your happiness matters most. Do not think it's selfish. It's important to be selfish. Like, you cannot give to others if you are not filling up your own cup. You cannot create a life that you want if you're constantly giving your energy to other people. And this could be trying to fix them and trying to save them and feeling like you have to stay around to keep the dynamics going, or feeling like you have to keep the peace. No. When you keep the peace, all you're doing is internalizing the chaos, and that hurts you long term. And that's how people get sick. That's how people lose their hair. That's how people end up waking up one day and being like, why am I here? Why am I not in the life that I want? It's because you were too busy pleasing everybody else when you are the one to impress. Have boundaries with yourself. Mental boundaries, honey, are your key to life. It is the easiest foolproof way to be able to create dynamics that you want, experiences that you want, without having to feel like you have to control the world around you. A lot of times when it comes to manifesting or creating what we want, when it comes to other people being in the situation, we feel we lack control because we don't think we can control other people, or we try really, really hard to control by chasing. But what if I told you you could easily get what you want simply by having more control over yourself? If you master yourself, you master life. You start deciding to have a higher self-concept. You start identifying as a new version of yourself. You are no longer identifying as a person that doesn't have money. You're no longer thinking and complaining about being broke. You decide, you know what, my mental boundary is I'm a person that has money, and you don't allow yourself to even think in any way less. You accept this is your new normal, this is your boundary, and you start moving in that direction. You don't allow yourself to think that you're not valuable or feel less than because of somebody else's actions. You feel secure, you understand your worth, and you don't accept less, or you don't allow yourself to think in any way less, right? Baddies, I always say whatever you're worried about is what you're available for. So if you're worried about money, you're available for not having money. And if you're worried about this person and they're not treating me right, then you're available for not being treated right. You have to say, I'm the one to impress, I'm most important, and I'm not available for anything less. Mental boundaries with yourself. Get clear on who you are. Even if you don't fully feel right as the identity of the person you want to be just yet, practice makes perfect. Fake it until you make it. Like, you continuously choosing to believe you have money and being Delulu, right? Is this Delulu? You continuously choosing you are the prize, even if people are not treating you like it. What happens is naturally life starts to reflect that back to you because you don't entertain certain conversations or thoughts. You start to operate at a higher vibration and attract better results. So remember, baddies, like mental boundaries. How can you protect your energy? By understanding you deserve the best. And even though life will throw things at you sometimes, you choose to win. You don't victimize yourself. You stay on your pedestal. You remember who you are. You stay most focused on your goals, on yourself, on future you. And you don't allow yourself to lower yourself. So for those of you who are in certain family dynamics and you're like, oh, like my household is so toxic, how can I get out of this? You stop allowing yourself to identify with that story, and you choose, no matter what the circumstance is, I'm always respected and valued. You set those boundaries and you move accordingly, right? You don't allow yourself to say, well, this is the dynamic, my partner's doing this to me. You start deciding, this is who I am. I don't allow myself to think any way less of myself or chase a person. What's meant to be will be. You are the common denominator. You are the only person who can create change in any situation. So if you start deciding to shift your energy, and I always say, instead of trying to chase what you want, be what you want, right? Instead of chasing validation, validate yourself, right? Instead of getting somebody to love you, love yourself. Instead of hoping you can get what you want, decide you can have what you want. When you have that backbone within yourself, when you have that confidence, that's when you're going to start attracting what you want. And that's what a lot of people are missing. They're hoping and wishing, they're afraid and anxious, they're begging. You don't beg, you decide. You start honoring yourself as the true powerful co-creator you are, and you will start attracting the results that you deserve. But you have to decide not to accept anything less. So the first step, have that conversation with yourself. You know what? I am in control. Whatever I want, I can have. Even if this situation is coming to me, I'm no longer identifying as this person. Self-concept, you decide who you are in your life. So now that we know that energy vampires have no real power, the only power they have is the illusion that you're not in power. You know that you're always in power. What's next? Moving in that direction, operating in it, embodying it, staying in this mindset of self-value consistently. Let's say and this is a huge one, right? A lot of girls sometimes when they're dating a partner, they will find themselves being like, oh, why is this person like another girl's pictures, right? Or why is this person looking at this girl's butt? Or why is this person, are they cheating, right? You have to, in your head, think you are the baddest, most beautiful thing on this planet, highest self-concept, and you have full control of creating that for yourself. And I'll tell you how to get there in a second. And you have to literally see yourself as a person that could never be cheated on. You have to see yourself as a person that could never be seen as less than in another person's eyes. Because the thing is like, People subconsciously pick up on your energy and treat you the way you feel about yourself. So the issue isn't that this person's mistreating you. The issue is that you are not valuing yourself. You are not seeing yourself as a person that can't be cheated on. You're not supposed to identify yourself based on the experiences you're having. Experiences are fluctuating constantly. Things will come and go. You have to decide who you are and have like a solid rock foundation of who you think you are. And despite circumstances, you will find yourself winning regardless. So no, you wouldn't allow yourself to think you're second place, that you are an option, that you could be mistreated. You'd see it as, I value myself, I have so much to offer, and if you mistreat me, if you cheat on me, if you treat me less than I deserve to be treated, it's your loss, right? Even though our ego wants to tell us, well, but this person's mistreating us and this circumstance is this. Remember, this person has no real power. Okay, you're too busy being first to notice. Anybody who's not choosing you is automatically number 2 or last. You're too busy being number 1 to notice. Imagine you're a queen and a peasant is like talking about you in a negative way. What does it look like for you to come off your throne, to meet them at their level, to explain yourself? Your job is to be the queen, right? You own your power. You don't react. You don't lower yourself. See, the number one issue that we're having here isn't that circumstances won't change and that you hate your life and things aren't going your way. The issue is that you're not deciding who you are and demanding the experience that you deserve. So you have to start believing you do have the power to create what you want. And even if you're trying and you don't see it yet, keep going. You're trying to see yourself highly. Things are triggering you. It's fine. You're healing. Understand that when you're choosing to actively see yourself in a high light and you're feeling triggered and you're feeling anxious, and every single time you get out of your power, you get back into it, you remind yourself of who you are, you're going to consistently stay there longer. You're healing. You're going to start attracting better because you're actively being better. And just remember, baddies, whatever it is you're facing, the goal is not to change the circumstance. The goal is to change you so that you won't go through this circumstance moving forward. Or if you do, you'll play a different role this time, the role of the winner. Okay, this person mistreated me. That's their loss, right? You don't have to focus on that. You have things to focus on. Oh, this person did this to me. And yes, you can feel the feelings, but you will not identify as a loser. You can feel the feelings as a human being that felt betrayed, but you will not identify as a person that isn't worthy of getting what they want. You have to say, thank you for this experience. I know who I am now, and I'm going to keep it pushing. So on top of the mental boundaries with yourself, of course you can set boundaries with other people. You're supposed to, you should, right? When it comes to setting boundaries with the world around you, it's about simply saying with yourself, right? This is my mental boundary first and foremost. And if somebody's not treating you the way you deserve to be treated, you say it once. Remember, you set that boundary once. I don't appreciate XYZ. If you continue XYZ, I will not participate in this conversation or in this experience anymore. The thing about energy vampires is they rely on you to not stand up for yourself. They rely on you to not stand in your power. They rely on you to dim your light, to try to people please, to try to put them first. But you are the one to impress, right? What does it look like for you to dim your light and to allow a boss to disrespect you, to allow a person you're in a relationship with to make you feel less than, to allow a parent or whatever? You have to be okay being by yourself and respecting yourself over being in someone else's presence who cannot value you. Because what are you gaining from being around toxic individuals? Remember, you become like the people you are closest to. And that's how hurt people. They repeat the cycle, right? But you can stop that. You can decide to be better. You can decide to stand up for yourself. And anybody who make you feel ridiculous or make you feel less than, they rely on you to feel less than. Out of an act of rebellion for a person who's trying to take your power, you own your power even more. You walk away. You say no thank you. You decide that you would rather be by yourself because they rely on being in your presence to feel valued in the first place, right? They rely on you feeling less than for them to feel on top. But if you say, I'm not available for this, they will not exist anymore. They may try even harder. So remember, the only power they have is when the second you start actually thinking they have power here, the second you start actually thinking that they have what it takes to make you feel less than. But your mental boundary, right? I don't ever allow another person to make me feel less than. Another person's actions cannot touch my value. I can have whatever I want regardless of the circumstance. Own it, own it, own it. Remember, baddies, when someone's coming at you, someone's trying to poke at you or make you feel less than or disrespect you, you never react. You choose to respond. You see clearly of the situation here. Okay, remember, people who value themselves, they value others. They treat others well. So if this person's not valuing themselves, they're obviously not going to value me. So who am I to go back and forth with a person that does not value themselves? I refuse. So you respond by setting a boundary. You see yourself highly regardless with that mental boundary, and reward disrespect with a lack of access to you. Lots of people, they try to chase, they try to prove, and this feeds other people's egos. This makes them feel higher. Oh wow, look at this person who was so high in my eyes. I made them feel small. I must be bigger than them. No, that's exactly what they want. They want you to feel small. But like I said, out of an act of rebellion, you own your power regardless. So you do not react, right, baddies? You do not internalize. Other people's actions have nothing to do with me. Repeat after me. Other people's actions do not dictate my value. I'm valuable regardless. Okay. In fact, other people trying to take your power just shows that you are valuable, right? Other people trying to make you feel less than. When you feel anxious or worried or stressed around somebody, take a step back and ask yourself, is this true about myself? If I'm around a person that's constantly trying to make fun of me or make me feel less than, that's because that person is not for me. It has nothing to do with who you are or your true value. So don't internalize it. Don't take it in and say, well, there must be something wrong with me. No, you are the prize. And I don't care if it's a billion people in front of you telling you are not worthy. You're worthy regardless. Why? Because you said you are. This is your life. You are the one to impress, and you are the co-creator of your experience. So remember, it's not your issue. If someone has an issue, if someone has a problem, someone's trying to make you feel less than, that's them projecting their insecurities, their energy. Do not claim their energy. That's a them problem. That's a personal problem. That's not a you problem. Just remember, how other people treat you is a reflection of them. How you choose to respond is a reflection of how you're valuing yourself. If you want to keep people who mistreat you around, you're not valuing yourself. How do you expect to be valued, right? If you're not setting a boundary when people don't treat you right, if you're not respecting yourself, how do you expect to be respected? Stay on your pedestal. You are too valuable, you are too busy, and you are too amazing to lower yourself to people, circumstances, or situations who are literally trying to take your power. Why? Because you're powerful. So the next time someone wants to play with you, the next time someone wants to act like you're not everything and more, the next time someone wants to act like you're not it, reward their disrespect with the lack of access to you. You're too busy, you're too beautiful, and you're too much of a baddie for that. You got things to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of The Baddest You. Make sure you guys check out The Baddest You on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode. Bye, baddies.